Stop treating yourself with pills. In this video, you will learn about 5 products that work better than pharmacy medications. Without side effects, without chemicals. You have them at home. You just forgot that they can heal. With their help, you can lower blood pressure, improve digestion, strengthen immunity, and even overcome chronic inflammation. These are simple products that work like medicine. But don't earn pharmaceutical companies a penny. Save this video. It might not show up in search results. Think about it. Why did garlic, onions, lemon, and sauerkraut save our ancestors from diseases for centuries, but now they've been replaced by chewable vitamins and trendy supplements costing $100 to $200? The answer is simple. You can't profit from simplicity. American doctor and author of the book How Not to Die, Michael Greger, plainly states, if healing doesn't bring profit, it won't be shown in the news. In 2015, Greger published an analysis of more than 5,000 clinical studies. Conclusion: in many cases, food products work just as well, if not better, than pharmacology. For example, garlic lowers blood pressure just as effectively as captopril, a drug prescribed for hypertension. Lemon and water in the morning alkalize the blood, reduce levels of inflammatory markers, and activate the liver's enzymatic systems. Leafy greens improve gut microflora and strengthen the immune system better than pharmacy probiotics. But what does advertising do? It shows you a smiling actress, drinking cough syrup, a happy grandmother with glucosamine, a child drinking a colorful vitamin with a cartoon, and never a simple grandfather who eats onion soup every day and lives to 97 without a single pill. Why? Because his soup cannot be patented. It is not needed by the stock market, it is not addictive, and it is free. Klaus Leitzmann, a German professor of nutrition science, author of dozens of scientific papers, and one of the first to openly say pharmacology is a crutch, and food is the foundation. He did not deny medicines, but he warned, if you lack basic nutrition, no medications will save you. On the contrary, they will destroy even faster. In his work Nutrition and Health, A European View, Leitzmann writes, every unnecessary medication is a new burden for the liver and microflora. He proved that antibiotics destroy up to 90% of the intestinal microflora after just 3 days of use. Antipyretics disrupt the natural reactions of the immune system. Vitamins in tablets are absorbed 3 to 10 times worse than from fresh foods. You cannot treat the body while ignoring food. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. This phrase from Leitzmann cost him his professorship. The pharmaceutical companies that sponsored research at the university stopped funding when he began publishing articles about the benefits of vegetables, enzymes, and traditional foods. He compiled a list of products that, in his opinion, should be in every person's medicine cabinet, but are not sold in pharmacies. Garlic, a natural antibiotic, fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, lemon, an alkaline buffer, green leaves, cellular nutrition, water, the body's primary cleanser, warm broth, restores mucous membranes and the gastrointestinal tract, onions, support for blood vessels, antioxidants, olive oil, and anti-inflammatory fat. If pharmacology could create a single remedy with such an effect, it would cost thousands of dollars per capsule. But all of this is in your refrigerator. That's why you will never see these products in drug advertisements. Because if you start eating them regularly, you won't need regular purchases at the pharmacy. We are often told folk remedies are non-evidence-based medicine. But what if there is evidence? You just haven't heard about it? In 2012, a meta-analysis was published in the journal Phytotherapy Research. Garlic reduces blood pressure in hypertensive patients just as effectively as captopril, a popular blood pressure medication. With daily intake of garlic extract over 12 weeks, systolic blood pressure decreased by 10 to 12 millimeters of mercury without side effects. In other words, garlic works like a medication, but without the risk of side effects. Lemon plus water on an empty stomach is not just a trendy detox. In a 2015 study, daily consumption of warm water with lemon has shown a reduction in the level of C-reactive protein, a key marker of inflammation. Oxidative stress and systemic inflammation decrease with regular consumption of lemon water, especially when combined with a diet rich in plant antioxidants. Leafy greens and microflora. In 2016, a study was published in Nature Chemical Biology, where scientists discovered that sulfoquinovose compounds found in greens nourish only beneficial bacteria in the gut, leaving pathogenic ones starving. Greens are a selective prebiotic, a kind of smart food for the immune system. Sauerkraut and kimchi. Korean studies have shown that regular consumption of kimchi reduces blood glucose levels, cholesterol, and inflammation in diabetics. In a 2014 study, participants who ate kimchi 3 times a day saw a reduction in their glycated hemoglobin levels by 0.6 units after 8 weeks, which is comparable to the effect of taking metformin. Water is the oldest and most underrated remedy. Michael Greger says in one of his talks, before giving a pill, we are obliged to give a glass of water because dehydration equals inflammation, and inflammation equals the cause of 90% of chronic diseases. What does all this mean? Food is not prevention. Food is treatment. If it is alive, whole, and rich in substances that the body recognizes. When you eat garlic, you are not just boosting your immunity. You are giving your body a listen, a substance that penetrates bacterial cells and destroys them. When you drink water with lemon, you are not just cleansing the body, you are restoring the pH balance, activating the liver and pancreas. When you eat sauerkraut, you're not just consuming fiber, you're populating your gut with an army of live bacteria that control your immunity, mood, and even energy levels. When doctors say that food is just fuel, they forget about the peoples who live differently and live the longest in the world. Okinawa is an island where people hardly ever get sick. In Japan, there is an island whose name has become legendary. Okinawa is the region with the highest number of centenarians on the planet. There are 4 times more people over 100 years old here than the world average. And yet the rate of cardiovascular diseases and cancer is several times lower than in Europe and the USA. What do they eat? Sweet potatoes, seaweed, fermented soy products, fresh, vegetables, minimal meat, no sugar, and almost no pharmacology. Water with lemon in the morning, root and seaweed soup, a warm walk, tranquility. Research from the Harvard School of Public Health has shown the main factor in the longevity of Okinawa residents is not genetics, but habits. Their food is their pharmacy, without exaggeration. The Caucasus, where grandfathers live without diagnoses. There is a village in the Caucasus where men at 90 years old dig the earth, women up to 85, fetch water from the mountains, and no one takes pills for blood pressure. Their diet: spring water, kefir, sour milk, garlic, beans, greens, and nothing enhanced or fortified. A grandmother from Ossetia said in an interview with a local TV company, milk from the cow, bread from the oven, health from God. They don't know us at the pharmacy. And interestingly, doctors who visited there recorded normal blood pressure in 90-year-olds, excellent joints, no signs of diabetes or obesity. How? They ate what their grandfathers ate. Nothing from powder, nothing from advertisements. A story from life. My grandmother lived to be 103 years old and treated herself with cabbage. Maria, a subscriber to the Health Channel, sent a letter. My grandmother was born in 1912. She never went to doctors. She didn't have a medicine cabinet, only a kitchen. When we got sick as children, she made us eat grated garlic with honey, drink warm broth, and do vinegar wraps. She lived to be 103 years old and passed away quietly, without pain, with a clear mind. Do you know why? She simply didn't interfere with her body being alive. These stories are not fairy tales. This is an alternative reality where medicine is not needed because health is not lost. You don't have to undergo treatment if every day you eat what heals. When we say medicine, we imagine a pharmacy. When we say food, we think about calories. But there is a fine line between these concepts, and for the body, it doesn't exist at all. The body doesn't separate substances into food and pills. It knows whether there is benefit or not. Here are 5 foods that, according to researchers like Michael Greger and Klaus Leitzman, work more powerfully than many medications and without side effects. Garlic is a natural antibiotic and vascular protector. Garlic contains the compound allicin, which has antimicrobial, antifungal, vasodilatory, and anticoagulant effects. A study from 2012 states that garlic reduces blood pressure in hypertensive patients by 10 to 12 millimeters of mercury, an effect comparable to that of captopril. And in the context of viral infections, garlic can inhibit virus replication, making it an excellent preventive measure. Why isn't it sold as a medicine? Because it cannot be patented. Lemon with water is a natural alkaline buffer and liver stimulant. Many still think that lemon is acidic. In fact, it alkalizes the body. In warm water in the morning, lemon activates bile secretion, initiates digestion, reduces stomach acidity, and decreases inflammatory markers in the blood. In one study, eaten regular consumption of lemon water reduced the level of C-reactive protein, which is associated with chronic inflammation and autoimmune reactions. This is not a grandmother's recipe, it's metabolic support. Green leafy vegetables, cellular nutrition, and blood cleansing. Spinach, oxai, arugula, parsley, lettuce, broccoli, oxai sources of magnesium, vitamin K, chlorophyll, sulforaphane. They improve blood clotting, normalize blood pressure, nourish mitochondria, and reduce homocysteine levels. In Nature Chemical Biology, in 2016, it was shown that the compound sulfoquinovose from greens nourishes only beneficial microflora, thus enhancing immunity without artificial probiotics. Fermented products, restoration of microflora, and protection against inflammation. Sauerkraut in the kimchi, in the kefir, and yogurt provide live bacterial cultures that produce B vitamins, destroy pathogens in the intestines, reduce inflammation levels, and improve mineral absorption. Journal on Diabetics, year 214. Daily consumption of kimchi reduced glucose levels and glycated hemoglobin by 0.9 units over 2 months, which is comparable to the effect of metformin. Water, an underrated detox and a cure-all. Dehydration is the cause of blood thickening, cellular oxygen deprivation, chronic fatigue, headaches, and a weakened immune response. Harvard Medical School, year 218. Even a 2% water deficit reduces cognitive abilities, increases inflammation, and can trigger chronic ear diseases. Michael Greger says, water is the cheapest means of extending life on the planet. Why does pharmacology ignore this? Because you can't make money on garlic. There is no trademark on sauerkraut. You can't mark up greens. These products are not sold as medicine, although they act like medicine. Everything your body needs is already at home. You just stopped believing in it. Today, you learned that garlic lowers blood pressure better than captopril, that lemon water reduces inflammation, that fermented cabbage fights diabetes, that greens nourish the immune system, and that water saves more than any pills. But do you know what's truly frightening? Most people will hear all this and do nothing. Why? Because advertising has taught us to believe in a magic pill. Because we are waiting for a miracle from outside, rather than wanting to take responsibility within. You think, well, okay, lemon with water is wow. It's trivial. I need serious treatment. And the body thinks, please, just stop interfering with my work. Klaus Leitzman said, the body does not require intervention, because it requires conditions. These conditions are simple: food that you recognize, water that you don't forget, breathing that you remember, movement that is not violence but life, and silence, in which the body has time to repair itself. A strong body is not one that never gets sick, but one that knows how to recover. And you already have this body. It is waiting for you to stop giving it junk, this noise, chemicals, stress. And remember what truly heals. Now a question for you. What will you do tomorrow morning? Will you drink coffee on an empty stomach, shove down a sandwich with sausage and a blood pressure pill, or start the day with water, cabbage, lemon, and movement? The choice won't be on the pharmacy's cover. It will be in your kitchen. If you've watched until the end, write in the comments, food is medicine. And write which of the 5 rules you are ready to try for at least 7 consecutive days. Subscribe, and remember, you are already healing. Just give the body everything it asks for, and nothing extra.